The Fantasy Footballer Studio is sponsored by Walmart. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Monday, August 11th, the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Jason Moore, Mike Wright. I'm Andy Holloway. Thank you for joining us. It's a big week in the world of fantasy football and the NFL. We got the first week of preseason football in the books, not without its own slew of injuries.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they just, I'm not saying anything breaking news here. They just suck. They just, injuries are the worst because they disrupt so much. I mean, for the player themselves, thank goodness they get these guaranteed contracts and get the money because their bodies get broken all the time.
It's a brutal game.
But
it really decides, I mean, not only fantasy football, but it decides the NFL. Like, when you look at the end of the year, it's like, oh, who got
really
lucky
is. Yeah.
and was healthy this year? Well, guess who made a playoff run?
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at injuries for, like, Super Bowl teams, the teams that get to the Super Bowl usually have extreme injury luck, historically speaking. So, yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. And I think the biggest problem with injuries, obviously, players' health is one thing, but the biggest thing is our analysis can't be proven right or wrong. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
that's why you just check it up as right.
Just broaden that out to everybody, not just ours. Like your draft, you can draft the perfect team and be disrupted. Like so many things have happened this past week that throw that little bit of fear into your mind about certain situations. You love the running game in Los Angeles with the Chargers, and then Rashawn Slater goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And like I am a big fan of Jordan Love and what he can bring to the fantasy world. And then you hear about Jaden Reed being hurt, and it didn't look great in week one. So our job here is to help you sift through the under and over reactions. I had a quick laundry list of takeaways from the weekend. I'm going to just blitz these. Okay. You guys give me any feedback or if you have anything else. But
I'm going to take a quick nap.
Started with Shedeur Sanders. Obviously played well enough to hopefully make a roster there. It was nice to see. Travion Henderson.
That's
very bad for his draft price.
Why? What happened?
He was very good.
His first NFL touch, 100-yard kickoff return.
Weird.
Very good.
But
I remain unsurprised.
Yeah, he looked great. He was dishing out pain in that game.
Well, him and Ramondre both looked very good in that
Ramondre
game.
did look good.
The next takeaway, the Giants' defense might be unstoppable. Their front five. I mean, it's pressure on every play. Like if I had to pick like a situation that no one sees coming, that team has a horrible schedule, an offense we don't have trust in, and I will not be surprised if the Giants' defense just
carries.
Jason won't like this takeaway.
I don't like it already.
I watched the film. I watched every snap, not just every touch, twice. Not impressed with Caleb Johnson in Pittsburgh this weekend. I thought in particular it was like the most solidifying for Jaylen Warren situation in the passing game. He had a brutal drop. He had 2 more Jordan Howard catches is what I'm going to call them that did not look natural to me. And then I thought he was fine otherwise, but didn't look special. Tajay Spears, the injury.
Yeah, that's a big one. High ankle sprain.
Yeah, I mean and this has kind of been Tajay Spears' storyline. It's been opportunities about to be there, and then you get banged up. Yeah. But Tony Pollard, how often have we talked about Tony Pollard in the last 6 months?
Not very
much, and I kept seeing him like feeling uncomfortably high in the rankings. I'm like, oh, there's Tony Pollard still up there where I'm telling people to draft him.
Yeah, and then
now we bailed out by that Spears injury.
Yeah, so Spears, it's a high ankle sprain, and we'll deal with that. Justin Fields, it was a nice debut for Justin Fields, and then of course ends the way Justin Fields ends drives with a rushing touchdown. So It was a nice start for Fields for New York. I don't know. Did you guys watch all the R.J. Harvey touches?
I have not watched them all yet.
Yeah, I saw them.
So, to me, that was another situation where I was like, I mean, he had some good plays, but from a reading the defense standpoint, this looked like a college player to me. Like, he did not ever take what was in front of him, and he only bounced it outside.
When running backs are more special players, it takes time for them to realize they can't get away with certain things. And that was I think the biggest surprise, based off of what boots on the ground in Denver were saying, the biggest surprise of the weekend was the complete inverse of, RJ Harvey is taking all these snaps, and it's like Dobbins is filling in on third.
Could it be helmet gate? Getting the start,
maybe
J.K. Dobbins couldn't find his helmet, something like that was going around.
I've heard that being tossed around on Twitter. I don't know for sure, but that was the most.
You get Wally pipped just
with a helmet,
just with the helmet. Like, I forgot my helmet, I never make it back on the field.
But that's a huge deal. Of Harvey's ADP remains high.
And then we have breaking. Ironically, the last thing on my list from the weekend now has breaking news attached to it. But I was going to talk about Ollie Gordon, the Dolphins, the running game, the offensive line struggles on the goal line. And then I was going to talk about Madison getting hurt.
Yeah.
We just got breaking news.
Did they actually?
Alexander Madison underwent season-ending neck surgery.
Oh.
He actually had to go to a hospital after injuring his neck during the game against the Bears.
That stinks.
And is done. And he was like, the whole storyline with the Dolphins this offseason was like we took Jalen Wright away from our sleepers.
Yes.
A couple, maybe he goes back, I don't know, but a couple days ago, although he played terribly, because Madison was having such a good camp.
Yeah, the drum beat was very steady, very loud. I saw, before I heard that, Andy, they were working out Jamal Williams.
Oh, they're definitely adding. I thought they'd add it back just with a short-term injury to Madison. Now they definitely will.
So that is
Jamal Williams, huh?
Yeah, we'll see.
And Ollie Gordon, I think, is a name that's worth paying attention to. There hasn't been much buzz because it's been Madison, but I think he's a better player than Jalen Wright.
He looked good.
He looked really good. He doesn't have the same explosive high-end speed, but I think he's a better player. He was a really productive young college running back who was expected to be like a very big draft pick and then had kind of a disappointing last season, but he's worth paying attention to. The only other notes I would add in, Breece Hall seems like he's full-time share. He was splitting just like we feared.
And it might be three dudes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Braylon Allen.
And Davis.
And
if that's the case,
did you guys see the Isaiah Davis 5,000 IQ play on the touchdown by Fields?
Yeah.
No.
Where he was out there running around. He was one of those situations where he knew his quarterback was about to run. So he just faked like he was getting a wheel route, and the defender just bit and chased him down the field. It was awesome.
Did you see Marvin Mims was actually playing a full slot of snaps with an offense not being used as just
a slot of snaps? Like, was he in the slot?
No, just the point is he wasn't a gadget guy coming in.
Yeah, it was actually
every
getting real reps.
Sixth play.
Gotcha.
For it
was
like
with that and the Harvey, is Sean Payton giving us the Joker? He's just tricking everybody.
Probably.
Yeah, he's kind of the worst. But they'll be good. They'll be very good. We have a very big announcement. It's that time of year. It is August 11th. Fantasy Draft's on the horizon, and we have a very special giveaway, the premier one of the year, 1 week only, the Ultimate Draft Kit for life. Mm-hmm. We're giving away the UDK for life. We've done this every year, and if you win it, it's good until you die. So the Ultimate Draft Kit for life plus a Jamar Chase signed jersey. We're giving them away on a very special live stream event. The way you enter, if you've already bought the UDK or you're already a Ultimate Foot Clan member, you already entered to win. So congratulations.
You've done very well.
You're already there. You've got a shot to win. If not, you just need to get the UDK, UDK Plus, or become an Ultimate member by next Monday at ultimatedraftkit.com. Get the UDK. We'll do a live stream event. We'll answer questions, and we'll give away a UDK for life and that Jamar Chase jersey and maybe some other stuff on the live stream event. So very, very excited about that. UltimateDraftKit.com if you want to take part. If you want to follow the show, we're over on X at the FF Ballers, on Instagram.com/fantasyfootballers, and you can watch the show, youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers. Believe it or not, we have more news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Well, I mentioned Tajay Spears. He's going to miss a few weeks with the high ankle sprain. And so, once again, we won't get really a fair dynamic in terms of, like, who's going to start the year and would this have been the same thing happened kind of. Like, would it have been a 50-50 split? We'll never know because he's going to have to come back slowly again. And he's not as talented, or at least wasn't last year.
No, I don't think he is as good as Pollard. And this is one of those offenses where when you've got the new 101 rookie quarterback coming in with Cam Ward, you can see how the offense changes from one expected to be terrible to one that's like, oh, maybe it's a top half offense. So I don't mind taking a shot on Tony Pollard in drafts, trying to get off to a hotter start. Also, it's worth noting Chigakonkwo, he played more snaps as like a pass catcher. He wasn't rotating.
He played 100% with Cam Ward.
Yeah, exactly. So, a sleeper tight end, someone to pay attention to. If he has a decent week one, pick him up.
Mike's chuckling.
Yeah, it
was a great end of the year.
We've been there with Okonkwo like 3 straight years.
Well,
but the reason we've been there with Okonkwo is because he is talented.
Yes,
they haven't used him as a full-time pass catcher, which is stupid. Now they are. Great. He's had a terrible quarterback.
A little bit like the Njoku situation.
Yeah, now they might have a quarterback that could get him the ball. So yeah. I do think it's still worth paying attention to.
Rachaad White left his first preseason game with a groin injury.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles said that Mr. Richard White, Dick White, will undergo further tests day to day.
Dude.
And Sean Tucker, he's got some juice.
And Bucky, of course.
Yeah, it could make that a little safer. Groin index is popping right now, guys.
The groin injuries are, I don't know, people's groins were not warmed up before
Alec
the preseason.
Pierce, Rachaad White, Rashee Rice, Jordan Murray,
Marshawn
Lloyd.
Rashee Rice back at practice.
Yeah,
today.
Rice goes back at practice.
I don't care.
He's still on the index.
He's still on the index right now, groinindex.com.
And we have we know whether it's really hurting.
100%.
Jaden.
Because we got the quotes from the players.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
his
we
direct
had like
quote
what did Rashee Rice say?
Ack. That was
That was one of the quotes.
My groin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ack, my groin.
So look, you got to listen to the players. Jaden Reed was seen in a walking boot on his left foot. He's dealing with a foot sprain. Matt LaFleur actually came out and talked about it. Said it's something different than what they put him on NFI list to start training camp. Hopefully we get him back before the regular season.
Is that good or bad? This is a totally new injury. I guess that's good.
When asked if Reed could miss week 1, LaFleur said potentially. So that sounds like that turns into a likely for me.
Yeah. So here's the way that going into preseason, going into the season, you get a lot less updates and clarity on injuries as you do once you're into the season and practice reports. So I get a little hesitant with all these guys. With Tajay Spears, with Jaden Reed, I will definitely avoid drafting them at their current ADP for sure, and I will expect that they might miss week 1.
We did get some positive news finally about Matthew Stafford. He worked out on Saturday, threw about 60 passes, and is expected to return to limited drills in practice on Monday. So the plan, if the plan was manage Stafford so he can play, going according to plan, maybe?
Yeah, I think going according to their new plan.
Okay, all right. Alan Lazard injured his shoulder. He plays for the Jets, in case you were curious. Keaton Mitchell missed Saturday's practice with an undisclosed injury. This was after a preseason
too bright
breakout there. They signed Myles Gaskin.
Yeah, does he run too fast? Is that the
Keaton
issue?
Mitchell?
Yeah.
He's very fast.
So fast.
Slow down, you're thinking?
Yeah.
Go one leg?
I would still use both, personally.
Okay. Myles Gaskin, the gas man, worked out for the team, signed with the Ravens. Anthony Richardson was seen participating in individual drills on Saturday.
That's good.
Is it, though?
No, I think it's great.
It is.
Anthony Richardson
I know.
He was looking really good.
Do you want to drag out the process of Richardson not being the starter, or do you want it just concise and quick and easy?
No, I want Richardson to be the starter, and I want him to be good. So in order for him to do that,
those two things are mutually exclusive.
he has to be able to play football. That's a prerequisite.
I do not want him to be the starter. I want Daniel Jones to be the starter. I think
now, is that because of
Warren,
Josh Downs?
Dobbs,
the others?
I almost said Dobbs. Downs, yeah. James Cook, not willing to play in Saturday's preseason game. That was the quote from Sean McDermott. So, he was able but unwilling.
Oh, man.
He dressed, took part in warm-ups. Is he just trying to do the most like, be the biggest nuisance. Like,
It's a strat.
You get dressed, you get ready, and then you go, you like your first foot goes over the. I'm not going in.
What if he goes out to the huddle and then runs back in?
Yeah. Oh my god! Or runs backwards out of the huddle, just out the back of the stadium.
My tummy hurts.
Just takes a knee, just gets the ball and just goes knee.
Just sleeping.
Pay me.
I mean, the problem is I just don't think he has the leverage he thinks he has. But whatever, maybe.
Well, he might have the leverage he thinks he has, which is very little. That's why he's going with plan Operation Nuisance.
Jeff Wilson, Keyshawn Vaughn, both signed by the 49ers, who
soon to be injured.
It's like Jeff Wilson and Keyshawn Vaughn are like, should we sign this contract? Because I don't want to go on IR. But Garendo and Jordan James currently out. And I saw that Javonte Williams is still getting the most reps with the starters this morning. That was another piece of news. You had Jaden Blue getting hurt. You had Miles Sanders banged up. So right now it's kind of, if it's everybody's job, it's nobody's job is how it sort of feels.
I think that's why it's George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb's job.
All right, that was...
Well, no, there's one more, Andy. Someone didn't practice today.
Ramondre.
Oh.
You don't...
This is a problem,
you're not
guys.
going to be able to get him.
This is a problem.
You're not going to be able to get Travion Henderson. He won't be available to you.
He's going to start skyrocketing.
He's going to go in the...
Oh,
he's
man.
going to go 1 overall.
The early adopters are being punished.
Well, if you already had shares, that's good.
Yeah.
In your dynasty
Yeah,
league.
because the value has gone up.
But we know nothing about why Ramondre didn't practice, so we will get you that info when we get it. And
he played well, looked well.
Which one?
Ramondre.
Oh, yeah. Both
he
of
had a
them
good game. It didn't seem
like
he
who
got
looked good. It was Will Campbell. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
That's why you draft that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he had two times, I think once with Ramondre, once with Henderson, where he pulled and demolished the entire left side of the field. It was beautiful. All right, that was News and Notes, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. It is a ranking show, believe it or not. We've been talking so much preseason and news. We'll take a break and we'll jump into our running back rankings. Foot Clan, draft day is on the way. You got your rankings. You got those sleepers. You got your can't-miss picks. But you know what? You need sometimes a backup because, well, even the best fantasy football team in the world doesn't go according to plan. Sometimes those starters, they don't show up. Wouldn't it be great if you could have the same peace of mind everywhere else? With Progressive, you get more than just a policy. You get a playbook full of coverage options you can count on for your home and for your auto. Want to customize your protection? No problem. You can build your coverage just like your fantasy team, making sure that you have the right players in every position and a backup when you need it most. And when life throws an audible like a fumble in the driveway or a hailstorm at home, Progressive is there with 24/7 support. Don't get caught without a great backup. Visit Progressive.com to quote today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. All right, it is running back rankings today and tomorrow. Let's get it started.
Running backs.
All right, we just went through our top 20 wide receivers, consensus rankings on our last couple of episodes before the mock draft. When you're looking at running backs before we kick off the rankings, I mean, there are question marks throughout. I'm sure we'll have some good discussions. What makes a top 20 fantasy running back historically over the last 4 years? 70% of top 20 running backs average at least 18 opportunities a game, so you need
it's a lot.
Need workload, right?
Mm-hmm.
75% of them, so 3/4 of the top 20 fantasy running backs needed at least 9 total touchdowns. So, get a couple through the air, get at least 7 on the ground, you're good, but at least 9 total touchdowns, that's what you normally need. So there's some luck and some variation there that happens, and you need touchdowns. And then the last one, the top 20 running backs were on NFL teams that average 9.4 wins. So those in that group, at least 9.4 wins. It's one of the things I love to focus on at running back. It's a differentiator between two players. But you want to be on a team that can win.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain players that are good fantasy assets on bad teams, but they are not usually running backs. It kind of goes hand in hand with 75% of them have at least 9 total touchdowns. If you score a lot of, if your team wins games, you score more points.
And you know what it is, too? It's in those of us that have played fantasy for a long time and watched the games, it's those darn first downs, man. Those are just the demoralizing drive killing. Like the bad teams, it's like, oh, awesome. You're going to be the 3 down back for this team. Cool. You get like 1 third down for 1 drive, and then you're off the field. That's what the most frustrating thing is. When I watch these games and I look at running backs, it's like, move the chains. Oh, great. Now you got another first and second down to hand it off. You just need teams that are effective at moving the football. It's not that there aren't outliers on bad teams and situations that it works out, but that's a big deal. So we're going to be looking at workload. We're going to be looking at team potential. We're going to be looking at the ceiling and floor outcomes for players. And let's kick it off right now, just hanging on by a thread. Last year's number 1 running back for the first 14 weeks or whatever it was, it's Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon comes in at 20 on the dot. Right now it's 20, 23, and 21. That's where the 3 of us have him ranked. Finished at 11 last year, 15.9 fantasy points per game. He's at 20 because we need to hedge against injury right now, where Joe Mixon has an injury that, it sort of seems like the Jaden Reed thing. It's like potentially he could miss time, potentially he could be back. So how are you looking at him in your drafts today? Because it feels like a nerve-wracking pick.
It really comes down to where he's going to fall in my draft. I am definitely happy to have Joe Mixon on my roster. He fits everything we just talked about, right? A 9.4 win team. Okay, the Texans seem right there.
Yeah.
A huge workload. He's going to have that. Touchdowns, he was on pace for 13.4 rushing touchdowns last year. He fits the bill for everything you want in fantasy football other than currently injured as an elder statesman. So there's risk when you draft him. And if that risk is going to cost me James Conner, who's currently healthy, I'm not going to do that. If that risk is going to, go down to the 6th round where I'm going between him and Isaiah Pacheco, who might not even, really get the volume and the work, he might be losing opportunities, goal line, passing work to Kareem Hunt, okay, then I'm definitely willing to take the risk on someone who, like you said, Andy, the first half of last year, he was the number 1 running back in fantasy football.
I think the biggest mistake, I think you pay attention to the injuries, you look at the team, you look at the depth chart. The biggest mistake, I think, would be to, retire him too early when, Saquon's 28, we have confidence in him. Henry's 31, we have confidence in him. CMC is 29, Mike has tremendous confidence in him. So I'm not worried about the age because we saw what he could do on the field last year. I'm worried about injury, the injury he's coming into the season with.
Yeah, he's not off our board. Like some guys, I think we've talked about Chris Godwin, who you're not sure if he's going to be there week 1 or not. And this is kind of a somewhat similar situation where Joe Mixon, you're not sure if he's going to be there week 1. Godwin's off my board. I don't think I want to struggle with him getting back. This wasn't a season-ending injury he's coming back from that he's been rehabbing. This is
It was an off-season ending injury.
Off-season ending injury. The first ever off-season ending injury. Does that mean but that would mean he plays now.
I don't know.
We're in the off territory,
man.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those situations that what it will be like if he was healthy and on the field, and you have a lot of good stuff around him. The offensive line is still a huge issue. I think their defense will be tremendous, like one of the best in football. So you could have a lot of situations where you are leaning on the running game, but will the offensive line hold up? They tried to rebuild it. It's not projected to be good, but maybe they can come together. At 19, it's Kenneth Walker. He is just 24 years old, almost 25. We have a pretty big disparity in ranking on Kenneth Walker. He comes in at 19 by consensus. I've got him at 25, Mike at 16.
25.
Jason has him at 20. So, yeah, Mike, I guess, is disgusted by my ranking.
I am. I'm personally offended by it.
Well, it's really just I'm just projecting him to be Kenneth Walker.
He finished running back 28 last year
in 11 games.
Correct. I'm projecting him to be Kenneth Walker.
That is the
identically.
issue.
That's still he was 15 games in his first 2 years. And he was averaging almost 14.5 points a game.
There's tremendous upside for Kenneth Walker. Everybody's got players every year that they're like, I'd rather lose with somebody else. or win with somebody else. Kenneth Walker has the potential to be a breakout top 12 running back. He is a very weird, enigmatic running back, not only dealing with injuries, but dealing with inefficiency and yet tremendous tackle breaking and capability. I don't really know why a number one forced tackle rate mixes with, the inefficiencies.
Bad offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, he is breaking tackles behind the line of scrimmage. The scheme has been bad.
See those numbers and then see who did not retain their job for a winning football team. Like the OC was fired. Like that, when that happens, it's pretty wild. They were what were they? 9 wins? 9 wins last year?
They tied
10.
They tied with
10.
the
A
Rams.
10-win team fired their offensive coordinator.
Well, and look, the Seattle's a perfect example of bringing in a new offensive coordinator doesn't always make it better, right? Literally last year, it was a brand new offensive coordinator. We had the same storyline in the offseason.
Yeah, that's fair.
This guy's going to take advantage of the skill set of Kenneth Walker. They still have a 30th ranked offensive line. That's still a question mark. And he has missed time in every season he's played. So 15, sure. I want more than that, and I definitely want more than 11. If I tell you that Kenneth Walker's missing, let's just be conservative. Let's say he misses the minimum he's ever missed, 2. Does that change anything for you?
If I knew he plays 15 games, I would draft Kenneth Walker where he is. I think he is
where he's going,
where
which is
where
at
he's
the
going right
RB17.
Now. Yeah, I mean this is a player who I do think that the scheme, we have insights, right? Changing coordinator doesn't always help everybody, and I don't think it helps necessarily the passing game here. But I do think the running game with Baby Cubes coming in, the fact that they are bringing in a fullback, we've seen that implemented in preseason and in their draft. They want to establish it and help the running game get going, and I think they've got a proven track record at offensive coordinator to get that done. So if he's healthy, I do believe he scores quite a lot of fantasy points. The issue is, we talk about, it's Kenneth Walker's being Kenneth Walker. He's going to miss a bunch of games. He's always injured. Hard to deal with. Right now, currently dealing with, resting or whatever, but he's missing practices all the time. It's just not a good sign. It makes me very hesitant to take him. Like right now, he's going ahead of Chuba, ahead of James Conner, and ahead of Joe Mixon. The upside case, if all three guys hit their ceiling,
I don't know if Kenneth
Walker. Yeah, I would say Mixon, then Walker. So I guess right now the issue is, do you like him more than those guys with the risk baked in that he has with his history and the fact that when you get hit a lot behind the line of scrimmage, that might be harder to stay healthy. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I think what was frustrating about the injuries is it wasn't just like one injury and a little stretch too. It was kind of the storyline of the season. He missed 2 games, comes back.
When you get hurt right away after an injury, like when you're on your return and then you just get hurt, that leaves a mark in your memory.
No, you're right. I mean, that was kind of like Joe Mixon at the end of the year too. Both these guys were not part of a fantasy title team because he had an oblique injury. His first injury last year, missed 2 weeks with that. Then it was a calf ankle injury. Then it was IR with calf injury. So, look, stay healthy. I don't think we've had any conversations about who would benefit if this scheme is amazing, but he gets hurt. I mean, it's like I don't think we've mentioned Zach Charbonnet's name at all. Damian Martinez.
Charbonnet finally learned how to kind of step up for fantasy purposes in Walker's absence. I do believe he's a worthwhile pick later in your drafts.
Yeah, that's
if you're
fine.
worried about Kenneth Walker.
Would you actively pursue him if you're the Kenneth Walker manager, if you could get him with your last pick? Like, I know we don't often do that, but like, are there a couple situations, whether it was Garindo with CMC or this one in particular?
Possibly. If it's a deep enough roster.
Because if you like the running strategies of this team, maybe that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I know, and we obviously could be wrong, but we did all currently pick the Seahawks to finish last in this division. So while they were a 10-win team last year with Geno, whether or not they fit that bill of the
maybe
top
I'll go
20
with Cardinals in last place after watching Kyler's pass.
That's fair. That's fair.
With that, can I change my projection?
Sure, absolutely.
You didn't like the no look?
Honestly, I was thrilled to find out it was no look.
Anyway,
Thrilled because I thought it was I just thought it was a pass, not a no look pass. I thought it was
to the defense.
it was the kind of pass that made me want somebody to go out there and just say, like, you're done. You're done with football.
He's
like,
beta
please.
testing some stuff, man.
It's like a baseball, like we're going to bring in the reliever. Like, you just
like
call me like, you're done today.
The manager should come out and pull the quarterback in that fashion.
Yeah,
like
that's
a baseball game.
That's what I mean.
And they make them give you the football. And then they walk off while the crowd boos.
No-look passes are not as easy as
Mahomes
and Stafford make them look.
I watched that play like 6 times on replay, not knowing that it was a no-look.
Yes.
And I was like, I could not figure out what his attempt was. Like, what were you trying? You can always see, like, he overthrew a guy, or he thought the receiver was going to go one way.
Got a little messed up.
What were you trying to do? Where were you? Where were you trying to throw this football?
To be fair, this is something we didn't talk about in the preseason, but Kyler, like, he completed every other pass in the entire game. But when that play happened,
like 50%.
No. He was like 8 for 9.
Boom, switch.
No, I don't get it.
He completed
every other pass. He went with it. It was a dad joke.
Yeah.
Every other pass.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that took me.
Yeah, we got there.
I'm glad I'm younger than you. But literally when that play happened, I was like, I hate you. I was like, I hate you. I hate that I'm stuck with you.
It was a heat check, man.
Yes.
Did you ever seen him jack up from the logo?
Look,
that was his logo shot.
Stop.
He's like, I guess I'm not on fire.
You don't need to. Yeah, you're not on fire. Did you see the other comments this morning from because the Cardinals lost their offensive line coach, and then Schottenheimer came out and was talking about the Cardinals O-line coach when he's the OC in Dallas, and he's just like, Kyler some weeks would. I mean, he like was so candid about it. He's like, yeah, he just told me that Kyler doesn't want to run sometimes. Yeah, and then he's just like, some weeks he's I don't feel running today.
That is not surprising. Watching him play,
it's what it looks like.
Having a superpower, and you're just like,
because
not today.
I'm gonna give him a nickname. It's Moody Murray. He's moody. He's like, sometimes he's in a good mood and he runs and looks great and he's an MVP. The next week he's like,
Moody Murray.
Moody Murray.
That is perfect.
I'm not gonna run.
That is perfect because you know who's moody? Little babies. They are so moody.
Oh no!
Oh, his picture. He's got his jersey on our back wall today.
Oh. Wow.
And look, it
Take
was.
it down.
We have a My
Get the reliever in here.
We got a My Guys show on Friday.
You need to relieve the jersey.
What name was on the board for me as a My Guy for the entire offseason that's not on there anymore?
Marvin Harrison.
That's why.
Yeah.
That is why.
Kyler
Not because
Murray
Marvin shouldn't be great and Kyler shouldn't be great, because sometimes he's just awful. I'm just so frustrated.
Do you think
by
he
it.
knows? Do you think he's walking like to the game? He's like, I'm in a bad mood today. I'm just not going to play well.
Yes. Yeah, he's like, I lost like 3 matches in a row. All right. Number 18 is Breece Hall. This one is wild because he's going at 13, so we're already way below ADP. I'm at 22. I would love to have not talked about him today, but you two have forced me to.
He's still gonna catch some passes.
He should catch a lot of passes, and you know, I know Mike's brought this up before, but there's a lot of data to show. So usually mobile rushing quarterbacks are very, very bad for the pass-catching running backs. Justin Fields is kind of an outlier there. He has a history of targeting his running backs in the receiving game. That's where Breece Hall thrives. Breece Hall is playing for a contract here. He's playing to audition for free agency. He wants to do everything in his power to have the workload. Now, I don't think he's going to get it.
I was going to say, don't show the other teams for your contract pursuit the clips of you on the bench, because that's going to happen for some of this year too.
He's
going so high. He's almost RB1.
Yeah, I do not like the draft price, but the case for Breece Hall for it going well is he is, designated as, we got to pass. So we got to have the best player for that type of a play. And if you think that the Jets are just going to be stinky, I mean, they can want to have their Detroit Lions more defined running back scheme, but in the second quarter, when you're already down, second quarter.
We're good.
We're talking the Jets, man.
That's fine.
Like when it's the second quarter and you're down by 10 already, then you know what the second half is going to be. So that's what could go right. I still don't like the RB13.
He's always going to be drafted.
Off.
He's always going to be drafted high because he's 24 years old. 2 years ago, he was the running back for. He is an explosive athlete that can go out there and have near 100 targets like he had 2 years ago. There's a lot of ways to see how it goes right. The issue is we do not believe he's going to have a massive workload, and he's not on a winning team. So you look at the top 20 running backs, how we started the segment. You average a bunch of touchdowns. Can Breece do that on this Jets? I don't know. You average a bunch of wins. Can the Jets do that? Probably not. And you get a massive workload. Should the Jets give it to Breece? Maybe. Will they? Probably not. It's like 3 strikes.
He's the number one player that I will not draft this year because of the price. Like, we can have a whole discussion about Breece Hall's potential upside. That's fine. Kyren, Chase Brown, James Cook, Omarion Hampton, Alvin Kamara. Those are the 5 players, some before, some after Breece Hall. I want all of them over Breece Hall.
Yeah.
It just feels like the positive case, maybe it's there, but I don't think it's top 12. And the negative case seems really scary.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say something nice about that.
I can't wait for next year, Breece Hall. I do think he goes out and gets a contract as a high workload player.
It seems harder, though, to have that be a certifiable guarantee if this year doesn't go well.
And because those jobs are just
then you're
few and far between.
There's 4 straight years then. If he doesn't, 4 straight years of decline in terms of production.
Yeah, but I mean, general managers really value their pre-NFL scouting, and I think if someone else looks at Breece Hall as this was my favorite running back in that draft class, and we can go get him now on the free agent market, and they weren't using him right.
Yeah, I mean,
think it'll happen.
It would be. We call that the DeAndre Swift case.
And I know things can change rapidly, but it's like the amount of teams that are going to have that spot open. It's not many.
Yeah, last year was 209 for 876 on the ground, 5 rushing touchdowns, but then 57 receptions. So, look, he can still give you production. I just don't like what people are paying for him right now. 17 is Chuba Hubbard, who we got to see a little bit of in the preseason. Bryce Young looked good as well.
The least sexy player in fantasy football.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
He deserves so much more. I got him at 16, Jason at 14, Mike at 20, comes in at 17. Looked great in the preseason snaps that I saw. Again, he's 14.7 points per game last year, finished at RB13 on a trash team. You talk about he had the workload check mark, he had the touchdown check mark. He did not have the winning team check mark. Do you believe Carolina could become one this year?
Yeah, they certainly could. I don't project them to be a 10-win team by any means, but if you look at the things that turn around a team, first of all, their defense was historically bad last year, and it was bad on purpose. 2 years ago, they sold their defensive pieces and did the rebuild the right way. Now they're still young. They should have a slightly better defense, but Bryce Young is really the heart and soul of this team. Will he step up and be, if he takes a step forward from the step forward we saw the second half of last year, he could go out there and be a franchise quarterback. If that's the case, they'll win more games. Chuba should be good. He was the running back 13 last year in only 15 games played. So that was, 14.7 fantasy points per game. My issue with him is how ineffective he was in the receiving game.
Yeah.
But he was still utilized in the receiving game.
But
so I just hope that it doesn't go away.
That's what I was going to bring up for Andy is we're back. Rico Dowdle played a lot with the starters. I know we're talking it's preseason week 1, but we're just trying to glean whatever we possibly can. And Rico had 7 snaps. Chuba had 6. That's 4 routes for Rico Dowdle, and it looks like it's not everything, but it's like Rico will probably be the 3rd down guy and then probably the 2-minute guy. So it comes down to, is it for sure Chuba on the goal line? I would project it to be, but is it for sure?
I feel very confident about it, yeah, on the goal line. The 3rd down, we talked about it the other day, is that as valuable as you think it is? I mean, Chuba would catch the ball and fall down practically. He's not a big yardage guy, but he's still going to be out there on 1st and 2nd down. So last year he finished at 13. We're all back behind that number, so I don't think we're being in a lot of ways, Dowdle's safer to me than the situation you were in with Jonathan Brooks, right? Mm-hmm. Jonathan Brooks was this young, up-and-coming potential takeover guy. Dowdle is very, very – they just paid Chuba. They paid Dowdle a backup contract. It is very defined.
But Brooks got injured. If Dowdle plays the whole season, he should eat into a little bit of the workload. I'll grant that. But you brought it up, and the contract that they just paid Chuba says, you're our dude. They just signed him to, a $33 million contract. So
yeah, my question for him is just the season opens. Obviously, the Panthers are trying to figure out who they are, but it's like Chuba is in 54% of snaps, 58%, 58%, and then the numbers start going up, and he's catching while it's inefficient in the receiving game, he's getting 5 targets in a ton of these games, catching 4 of them for no yardage, but that's still, you give me 4 for 20 yards. That makes a difference to your bottom line of fantasy, and if that gets cut because Rico Dowdle is the one out there taking those types of checkdowns, that's why
he is being drafted at RB18. I wanted to look at that. Do you feel like that's the right price?
I think that's right around where he should be going.
I'm a little bit lower in my projection.
Yeah,
because he just
you have some doubts.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know.
He is a player that I can see it, even with the contract, going wrong for fantasy.
And they did draft 4th round brother of
the other
ETN. They got Trevor Etienne.
Did you see his first touch?
I did not.
Yeah, it was a kickoff return. He fumbled it. Fumble for loss. James Cook at 16. Mike's my guy for last year.
Hey.
Who finished at RB8, who was tremendous and is currently pouting.
Yeah, should we have our analysis be like his preseason?
Like we say we're going to give it, but then we don't?
I don't want to do this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
I had some stuff to say, but meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to say it.
Is he going to play week 1?
I don't know.
I really doubt he is going to sacrifice game checks, since his goal here is money and his outlook in the future.
But what does it look like then? Are the coaches like, oh boy, James, we know it's a little bit rough there, and
St. James Cook's team. This is Josh Allen's team.
Yeah, the coaches know exactly how to utilize James Cook. You're going to see exactly what happened last year. I know if he's missing a lot of camp and he's not playing in the preseason,
then that's 16 touchdowns.
I'm saying utilization-wise. Obviously, the correlation between touchdowns, that's not very sticky, but the utilization is important on a really, really good offense. You want to say, okay, good offense, yes. Touchdowns, yes. Are they going to win? Yeah. Is he going to have the workload? Probably not. I mean, he didn't really have a great workload last year.
207 carries, 1,000 yards. What I want to know what you put in your projections for the UDK in terms of rushing touchdowns for James Cook, because I have my number that I have in there.
I
have 9.
I have 8.
Do you have a number, Mike?
Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up.
It's hard to have someone, but that was a real outlier for a guy who,
total touchdowns. I have him at 8.5.
I have
total.
10,
I have
10 total.
I have him at 11 total.
Yeah,
I was talking just rushing.
Oh,
I got 16 on the ground.
I got 6.8 for him.
Okay, all right. So I mean, look, it's he's a big play guy. He had a lot of those last year. 4 touchdowns of 40+ yards. That was only, it looks like him and Saquon, but they also are willing to utilize other guys. Like there's definitely, I want to be clear because we've talked about all this regression stuff. Like it's super possible for James Cook to just go out there and have an upper echelon fantasy season inside the top 10, and especially maybe even more so. Like we never talk about that. What if he gets paid? What if he comes to an agreement and the money says the money really says more about him being the 1 and everyone else being the 2, A and B, than anything else? I mean, that's an outcome.
What if he doesn't get paid and they're like, let's just use him up? I mean,
it's true.
Back-to-back years, he's been a top 12 fantasy running back, so I don't have any problem drafting him where he's going. At the beginning of the offseason, when we left last year and started drafts early for 2025, he was so high. I was like, this is going to be my Breece Hall. This is the guy that, like, the touchdown regression is obvious. The 3-way timeshare is obvious. I'm not going to be in on James Cook. Now he's kind of fallen to a place in drafts where I'm okay taking him there because he's not being drafted at his ceiling, which he obviously has, the last 2 years, running back 8, running back 11, but it will take hyper efficiency, which I don't love banking on.
Makes sense.
He's good. Like that's the thing that can overcome the other check marks, which you ran through him, Jay, of he's got all of those, where he doesn't have the workload, he's good. He's the best running back on the team, I think, by a lot. So if you want to bet on that efficiency, it's at the back of the third,
he
early
can't kick
fourth?
field goals like Ray Davis, though.
Did Ray Davis kick a field goal?
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll get our 15 down to 11.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Preseason football is underway. College football is just starting, but you can already make season-long more or less picks for the 2025 season on Prize Picks. Get your picks in before week 1 kicks off. Prize Picks is so simple to play. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get the picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks is also available in California, Texas, Georgia, more than 30 states, and they put their members first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. I was looking this morning. Right now, I see Josh Allen, he's set at 27.5 more or less passing touchdowns. It's been 6 years since he hasn't done that, so yeah, more. Download the app today. Use the code FOOTBALLERS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code FOOTBALLERS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
At 15, Omarion Hampton comes in. And
No, Matt, you're bringing up a good point. We didn't have this at the top of the show because this is a pretty anti-kicker show.
Yes.
But when a fella goes out there and pulls out the bazooka boot, and you kick a 70-yarder that, I mean, from my estimation, you probably had a couple yards on there.
Yeah.
Like Cam Little.
I knew he'd get here at some point.
Dude, that's awesome.
But, oh, my gosh. I mean, he's definitely getting that shot during the year, at least once.
That is.
Yeah, right before halftime.
Oh,
just we're here. Let's just try it.
Yeah, that was.
Sir, it would be an 85-yard kick. Put him in.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
You're on your 1 yard line.
It just doesn't seem fair that doesn't count as the NFL record.
Right.
It's the same. It's a preseason game. I get it. I know. But 15, Omarion Hampton. I got him at 10. Jason at 18. Mike at 19. I don't believe he played in yesterday's preseason game at all. Just further cementing the
RB1 status.
Yeah, the status of
Did
Omarion
Najee
Hampton.
Play?
I don't think Najee can play football. Right?
I just say, if we're going with this as the analysis,
He definitely. I mean,
Najee hasn't played any preseason.
Najee, you got that video, the clip of him, the photo. He definitely can't open his left eye. Like that's obvious.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Obvious in the at least if he had chosen to take a picture, I imagine he would have opened it if he could have. But we don't know if Najee will be out there for week 1 or not. I think that's very up in the air. But Hampton comes in at 15. He's being drafted as the RB15. He was the RB18 off the board a few months ago. So it has definitely moved in the direction you'd expect it to move with a Najee Harris fireworks injury. And with the fact that all the vibes, the comments, the camp, it's all positive around Omarion Hampton.
Yeah, we're rapidly closing in on the point where you just Andy's already done it. Andy, you pushed all your chips on Hampton. I made myself a note. I got to move him up because if Najee is not there in week 1, then the chances of Omarion Hampton just taking the job and being like, this is mine now, Najee, thank you for enjoy your money, I guess, the guaranteed part of the contract that you got. Because the issue with Najee was, okay, if he's in training camp and Harbaugh, like, it'll start out. It'll be the veteran, and we'll have to have some time for Hampton to work his way up. But for a first-round running back to now be on a team that checks a lot of those boxes we've been talking about for these fantasy running backs, we are
still a very good offensive line even without Slater.
Yes, we are rapidly closing in on. You just have to embrace what is going to happen, and what's the latest on Najee? There's a chance he's ready for a week 1. Yeah, you gotta. I think it's chips all in on Hampton time.
Yeah, you have, in the last 8 years or so, you've had, well, I guess it goes back a little bit further with Trent Richardson, but you had so many rookie running backs finish inside the top 10. They're very good bets for fantasy. You talked about the team. There's just a lot to like here. If J.K. Dobbins can come out last year and give you RB4 for the first 2 weeks of the year, 5 finishes in the top 8 on a weekly basis, and it's J.K. Dobbins at this stage of his career, a 22-year-old, versatile, kind of do-it-all running back seems like a good bet.
Yeah, and this is a player who I know pre-draft-wise, like Andy and I were madly in love with, just looked like a bona fide NFL 3-down workhorse back. He is good at every part of the game. He can catch the ball great, and we've seen with Austin Eckler that this is a quarterback who knows how to get the ball into the hands of the running back in the passing game. The offense looks so good. I think Keenan Allen being there just helps move the chains, get him closer to scoring range. I've got him right now as my running back 14. I'm happy to pull the trigger on him early. We expected him to take over by the end of the year.
Yeah, eventually.
But now he gets to start with the takeover. He's not going to let go of it.
James Conner at 14. James Conner's 30 years old. He's being drafted as RB20, so if you look at the value scout tool in our draft kit, you'll see that Conner's one of those higher value players compared to ADP. He is the engine to the Cardinals offense. I do think the Cardinals offense will be predicated on a great running game. There was, some impressive play by Trey Benson this preseason so far. There's a lot of comments around Trey Benson. Do you have any concern of Trey Benson taking too much work from Conner to make this a mistake?
I don't think he could take too much to make this a mistake because Conner, I still believe, will be the goal line back, and he is really the heart and soul, the leader of this team. However, I believe Trey Benson will take more work than last year. We can't just look at last year's utilization and put that out for 2025. I believe it will be not a 1A, 1B, but it will be a 1-2. And last year was kind of just this is James Conner's team, his offense, and then we give him breathers. You hope that maybe that helps James Conner's efficiency, as the season goes on, it keeps him active and healthy. I think James Conner is still a very good pick, but you need to be aware of Trey Benson. I think Trey Benson, given James Conner's injury history, is in his own right one of the few targets to have at the end of drafts where you go, okay, this guy could be more involved without injury, and then an injury could actually make him really valuable.
At 13, it's Alvin Kamara. We saw Tyler Shuck have the most yo-yo debut performance possible, pick 6, followed by a 54-yard touchdown throw, very up and down. I should have mentioned maybe Jackson Dart too. Like some of the rookie quarterback play that we've got to see in the preseason has been fun to watch, and Jackson Dart had some impressive throws as well. Alvin Kamara, though, Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, quarterback situation. He has been a machine, Kamara, since 2017, just a year in and year out automatic start. He had his highest fantasy points per game since 2020 last year, but he missed time at the end. He was one of those players that you didn't win a title with. You might have got there, might have got to the playoffs with him. But, Mike, how do you feel about Kamara right now? I feel like we haven't talked about him in a while.
So, Jay, you called Chuba like the unsexiest pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it might be Kamara because it just feels gross. Even looking at our rankings, it all makes intellectual sense of the depth chart here. Like, Kamara still is still good at football, even though you're just kind of waiting for the shoe to drop. But the backfield of, like, the hopes and dreams of Kendre Miller, the
I don't
hopes
even know
and
if he
dreams
makes the team,
of
dude.
Clyde. Like, someone is not
Miller
making
was 2.5 a carry in preseason yesterday, and that was bad.
Someone is not making the roster. But the point is, like, he's old, but he's just so much better than everybody there. And this is if you're going to have a team that is not good to have your fantasy running back, have them be so bad that they have to throw to their running back 6 times a week, and just we always recommend don't watch it because it's going to feel bad and it's going to be frustrating that they're not scoring more touchdowns. But he will be so involved, and the as of what I've seen, it's not over yet for Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, the Kamara is a great value pick. Where he's going, you don't see his upside case, right? You don't look at the Saints and go, oh, they're going to be great. They're going to have so many touchdown opportunities.
30-year-old running back.
He's 30. So there's nothing we could do to steam him up. However, he is the best pass-catching guarantee out there in the league. I mean, he had a 20% target share at the running back position, nearly 16% of the Saints' first read targets. That's like a number that some wide receivers have. And then you look at Kellen Moore coming in, and at the very least, you know that they're going to play fast.
Yes.
Neutral pace ranks of Kellen Moore offenses recently, first, second, fourth, 8th. So if you get a lot of plays and you're down, and you don't have anyone to throw the ball to.
Oh,
it's Super Omarion.
Forgot about that. Can he still be super?
Yeah, the star runs out quicker, but if he finds one, he'll have a few.
We
plays.
got some diminishing returns. We've used it too many times.
Jonathan Taylor comes in at 12. Jonathan Taylor had the silliest end of the year possible.
How dare you?
I looked at those
best.
I looked at those 3 games. You know what his attempt pace? Not opportunity. His attempt pace in those 3 games would put him on pace for he would have been 530.
Oh, baby.
530 carries a year.
Yes.
Mind you, the preceding
Jonathan Taylor had never been seen again.
Yeah, so he finished 1-1-4 the last 3 weeks of the year. They just basically said, we're tired of this season. This season's done. Let's give the ball to Jonathan Taylor.
And it worked.
The preceding 11 games played, it was still a heavy workload. It was 320 carry pace, but he only scored 5 times in those games. He missed 3 games due to injury, which has been a little bit of the Jonathan Taylor issue. So where are you guys with Taylor? I feel like I can talk myself in and out of Taylor. He's had 3 straight years where he hasn't played a full season. I don't like a lot of the other pieces there. It's like I look at him and I'm like, crap, he's not going to catch the ball. He's always got explosive potential, but I can talk myself in. I can talk myself out.
I can't be talked out of him. I'm sure I'm the most bullish of the 3 of us here because I believe his talent is so elite as a running back, as a prospect in the NFL, that I'm willing to forgive the lack of pass catching, the potential for goal line vultures. This is a player who, before that crazy last 3 weeks, he was already on pace for 1,400 yards in the 11 games to start. You know he's getting the workload. That box is checked. He should be able to get the touchdowns, so he could get to that checkbox. Now, are the Colts a really good team? Probably not. But I do think that they're, look, bringing Daniel Jones in gives them the ability to win more games, either should Anthony Richardson not pan out or should he get injured again. Tyler Warren looks like the dude.
Yeah,
I think he's going to help their offense tremendously. So this could be a better team. They're in a winnable division. And if Jonathan Taylor plays the whole season, I don't see.
Well, don't say that part.
I don't see how his floor is lower than like the running back 14. I mean, this is a guy who's just getting too much volume and is too talented. And if you go, well, what's his ceiling? My personal belief is that his ceiling is still a top 4 running back in fantasy. If he goes out there and ends up with 12 touchdowns, maybe gets
Did
a few
you say
more.
top 4?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get there.
Yeah. So
I can't get there with Taylor, but you are the Taylor man.
Yeah. Tailor-made.
Taylor made.
What week does Steichen get fired?
Oh gosh.
Let's look at their schedule and figure it out.
I mean, like, because that's
So
That's
to
part of it.
Jason's point, I wanted to look at this a little bit just because I hadn't seen it. So he had missed the time the year before, but points per game wise, he was still RB8. Okay, because he finished at 33 or something, but you got to throw that out. He missed a ton of time.
which year?
23.
Okay, the 14.7.
Yeah, so that was RB8 numbers, and then the year before that, I think was more of a down year. He was RB18 in points per game. That was kind of the like, what's going on? Like people were expecting Jonathan Taylor to be this perennial RB1, and then it kind of disappeared.
That was when he was dealing with the ankle all year.
Yeah, so he just, last year, where did he finish in points per game? Do we have that?
In points per game, I don't have. He was at 17 points per game.
Oh, that's got to be very, very high in points per
yeah,
game. So
he juiced the end.
So he was 5. So the last 3 years in points per game, if you want to just toss the injury, unpredictable injury stuff out, that would be RB5, RB8, and RB18.
Sure, giving Jonathan Taylor a big pass on his injuries.
No, I did
while
not.
Destroying Kenneth Walker.
Wait, Mike, you're not listening. When Jason said if he plays the full season, my next words was like, no, he won't. Oh, you're talking to him.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah, sure.
Well, he's on his. He's on his team.
He's way more talented than Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker's on your team in Dynasty, and Jonathan Taylor's on Jason's team in League of Record. So
we believe in who we believe in.
You want those guys stay healthy for your team. Kyren at 11. We'll wrap up today's running back rankings. Kyren comes at 11. I've got him at 13. Jason at 10. Mike at 10. He's been the RB6 2 straight years. He is a red zone dominator. I am excited to see what this offense can look like with Adams and Puka and Kyren and everybody healthy.
We do have an update that Matthew Stafford in street clothes not practicing today. Don't worry, it's part of the plan.
Now, is that resting, Mike? You are the resting authority.
So let's see. McVay previously said the plan was for Stafford to participate in individual drills. So we are not according to plan.
So he's not throwing it in the street clothes?
We're on plan F right now for Matthew Stafford.
It would be bad for everybody if he's out. It would be bad for Kyren.
Really bad.
It'll be bad for everybody.
Yes, that's terrible. It's really the biggest hesitation I have in drafting any Rams. To get back to a different question though, because we had talked about when Shane Steichen gets fired, and I wanted to look at their schedule.
Yeah.
Their first 8 games, they start the season with the Dolphins.
Okay,
should be able to do that.
They play the Titans twice.
Oh,
they play the Cardinals. They play the Raiders, and then the Rams. So like they
Wait, you're
could
saying
actually,
it's a good start?
Yeah, I mean
they're not favored for
not the Cleveland Browns schedule.
They're underdogs the 3 of the first 4 though.
Well, because they are stinky.
Well, they might be underdogs against the Dolphins, but
no, they're favored against the Dolphins.
What about the? I don't have it in front of me.
They're underdogs against Denver. They're underdogs against Tennessee. They're underdogs against Los Angeles.
They're underdogs against the Titans?
Yeah, on the road. Yeah,
Wow.
those teams are not that far apart.
Okay.
Cam Ward looked great, by the way. Cam Ward looked great. But yeah, no, overall, the names that you threw out
those are teams that Jonathan
they're
Taylor
winnable games. Yeah.
can definitely
Very
dominate.
much so. That's really good Kyren insight you had there.
You're welcome. Here's the insight on Kyren. Kyren Williams is a workhorse volume back check mark. He touches the ball around the goal line and successfully nonstop. He is a touchdown machine.
Yeah.
Check mark. This team should win a lot of games. Sean McVay is a great coach. So he's got all 3 check marks. He's also been the running back 6 the last 2 years. 2 years ago, he was very efficient. A lot's made that last year he wasn't that efficient on a per-touch basis.
Pretty brutal.
Sure, he was pretty brutal. 2 years ago, the Rams had a very easy schedule against the running game. Last year, they had a very difficult schedule against the running game. This year, they have a very easy schedule against the running game. So it's kind of like I expect his efficiency to go up a little bit this year, but it all comes down to Stafford, and I hate that. I hate that with all of these players.
You're taking Jonathan Taylor ahead of Kyren?
Am I?
Because that's what – it looks like those are back-to-back in your rankings with Taylor ahead. I feel safer with Kyren.
Yeah,
for the 3 checkbox argument.
I really like both of those players. Right now, Stafford scares me so much. But, I
think Stafford will be all right.
Yeah, he usually is. He's a tough son of a gun.
I really do. I think he'll be – this is – we've had some off seasons. Maybe not, but –
I will say the one thing that I don't worry about as much as a lot of people out there is the Jarquez Hunter draft pick, the Blake Corum. Like these are people that can spell him. These are
Corum's ahead of Hunter, by the way.
Yeah, I think I had brought that up somewhere of that draft Twitter of just obsessed with Hunter. It's like you just did this with Corum last year, who was a 3rd-round pick.
And now Corum's dead.
And look, but look who's ahead on the depth chart.
Yeah, Corum is the backup, not Jarquez. So I do think Kyren's he got paid. He's going to be a great asset this year, and he's not expensive. Where he's going in the 3rd round, I think he's been the running back 6. He's drafted as the running back 11.
All right, that does it for today's rankings episode. We'll count down the top 10 running backs tomorrow. We have 10 tips and tricks episode coming up this week. The My Guys episode coming up this week. And a reminder, the UDK for Life giveaway going on right now. Make sure you pick up the UDK by next Monday when we do an exclusive live stream event on YouTube. And we'll give away a UDK for Life along with a signed Jamar Chase jersey. And you can learn more about the UDK, become a part of that giveaway at ultimatedraftkit.com. That'll do it for today. I'll go, Michael, put the binoculars on and go watch for some Kenneth Walker practice reports.
He's probably resting, guys. He's very sleepy. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.